My name is Savannah Rodgers, and I'm an online public speaking, and this is speech to object, and I'm doing it over education. And these are my co-workers. This is Bruce, Jacob, Lou, Sean, and Kevin.
There's Lou.
And then the cameraman is Red. From the time you turn 3 or 4 is the first time you actually start education. From there, you're going to be in education until about 12 years or so, unless you decide to go to college, and then maybe more. From the time you start education, you start your friendships, relationships, and most importantly, your education to further yourself. Today, I'm going to be discussing the importance of education, the factors that affect your education, and the evolution of education. First, I'm going to be discussing the importance of education, how it furthers you. Education furthers you by giving you a degree, certification, license, training some sort to further you in life so that you can be on a career pathway. To be on a career pathway, it puts you with financial stability so you can be secure in the future. Even though we eventually leave school, we are still constantly learning. For some places, they require that they test you throughout your career so you can be on top of things. Other than that, you're going to be learning through media, the internet, and then if you read books or however you learn things for nowadays. Without education, we wouldn't have advancements in medicine and technology. With education, we further ourselves so that we can further ourselves in society. Next, I'm going to talk about the factors that affect education. Some students are hindered with learning disabilities. If a student is having trouble learning in class and focusing and everyone else is moving on, it puts more stress on them and it's harder for them to learn. Sage Publications, Inc. stated, the advent of public education for students with disabilities in the United States came sometime between the 1840s, when common schools were introduced, and 1918. Some of the most common learning disabilities are ADHD, dyslexia, and dysgraphia. Another factor that affects your education is the teachers who are teaching you. Sometimes the teachers who teach you don't really show that they care. When they care, it just makes a world of a difference. Teachers care about you when they show you that they're going to adhere to your learning and they want their students to prosper. I do understand that teachers can't give the one-on-one undivided attention with their students when they have 6 classes full of 60 students. But it's not always about that one-on-one interaction. It's about the way they interact with you. For some students, they have other responsibilities that they need to do while they're in education. Some have to work, some have to pay bills, some have to babysit for their parents while they go to work. When you have a job and you're in education, it already puts you at a disadvantage. Students need time to do their assignments and they need time to study. When they have all these responsibilities, sometimes they tend to drop out. According to Thomas Snyder of the Mobile Digest, the dropout rate decreased from 9% to 6% from 2006 to 2016. Lastly, I'm going to discuss the evolution of education. The first school was established in 1635. Schools back then taught basic life skills to kids. Women were taught to be prepared to be caretakers, and men were taught to provide for their families. They were taught these skills for survival. They were taught these skills to go every day. Nowadays, we have actual curriculum with math, science, social studies, and English to follow. And they all have their subdivisions, and they all branch off from there. In college, once you pick the major that you're going to be going into, you have your core classes, but once those are done, you actually start classes to where you'll be learning about stuff that you're going to be doing with your life. In conclusion, education is a huge part of our lives. It's been this way for hundreds of years, and it will be that way forever. Education will only progress from here. Today I have discussed the evolution of education, the importance of education, how it furthers us, and the factors that affect our education. Thank you.